One family, six lives, one murder. Are we uncovering the mystery of the DeFeo family? In 1965, Robert DeFeo Sr. and his large family, which included his wife and 5 children, purchased a house. Before them, 3 families had lived there without any tragic events occurring during their residency. Everything changed on November 13, 1974, when Robert DeFeo Jr., the 23-year-old son of the DeFeo family, burst into the Henry Bar screaming that his parents had been shot. Several bar patrons went with him to his home and discovered not 2 but 6 lifeless bodies: Louise and Robert Sr., the DeFeo parents, their daughters Dawn and Allison, and their sons Mark and John. All of them had been shot with a .35 caliber gun, lying face down in their beds. The sole survivor, Robert DeFeo Jr., attempted to blame the crime on his father's friend. However, conflicting testimonies and evidence from the house unanimously pointed to Robert himself as the killer. Robert claimed he didn't intend to commit the crime, but was driven by voices in his head. His lawyer desperately tried to build a defense based on his client's insanity. However, the forensic expert only confirmed that Robert had an antisocial personality disorder and was fully sane. During the investigation, it was revealed that Robert had a troubled relationship with his father and had experienced uncontrollable anger outbursts in the past. Additionally, he was heavily using drugs. Ultimately, Robert was found guilty and sentenced to 150 years in prison. Despite the case being closed, questions remained. For instance, why were all family members found lying in their beds if they were supposed to wake up from the sound of the first gunshots? The theory that Robert drugged his family with sedatives or narcotics was not confirmed by the forensic examination. Why didn't the neighbors hear the gunshots either? There were 8 shots fired from the gun. Witnesses only remembered the family's dog barking, nothing more. And the main question? Why did Robert do it? They didn't get along with their father, but the eldest son had a deep bond with his siblings and loved his mother dearly. What drove him to take the lives of his entire family? The horrifying events didn't end there. A year later, the Lutz family, George and Caitlin, moved into the house. They lived there for only 28 days before hastily leaving, claiming that ghosts had moved into the home. Interestingly, Robert DeFeo Jr. stated that he heard voices in his head for exactly 28 days. The couple reported hearing creaks and noises as if someone was in the house, experiencing sudden drops in temperature, and noticing that the smell of death never dissipated from the rooms. A year and a half later, Jay Anson wrote the book The Amityville Horror, dedicated to the short stay of the Lutz family in the haunted house. Following its publication, George and Caitlin faced a wave of criticism. They were suspected of conspiring with the author, accused of fabricating the story to generate interest in the book. Indeed, some of the Lutz couple's testimonies were highly implausible. For example, they claimed that black spots appeared on the walls, windows knocked and shattered on their own, and on one occasion, Caitlin woke up levitating under the ceiling. Interestingly, the Lutz never called the police during their 28-day stay, even though they typically reported damage or suspicious noises to law enforcement. For the next 2 years, the house remained vacant. During this time, it was explored by numerous mystics and paranormal investigators, including the famous Ed and Lorraine Warren. However, no substantial evidence of spirits was found, except for a mysterious photo capturing a boy with pale eyes, believed to be the spirit of one of the DeFeo sons. In 1977, Jim and Barbara Cromartie purchased the troubled house for $55,000. The family didn't report any ghosts, strange noises, or strange smells. The only disturbances they faced were from tourists, who flocked to the house at all hours. The tormented owners forced to move. The weary owners had to change their address to get rid of the persistent fans. The most famous Amityville house was last sold in 2017 for $605,000. However, it's now hard to recognize the former home of the DeFeo family. Only by comparing it with photos from past years can you confirm that this is the very place where, 47 years ago, 6 people lost their lives at the hands of Robert DeFeo. P.S. Robert DeFeo Jr. died in prison on March 12, 2021, at the age of 69. The cause of death has not been disclosed.